This conference will now be recorded.
Right, let's start today's session. In the last session, we have seen the API verbs and also action methods, and also we have seen the endpoints or resources. Now you can see this is the HTTP GET, and this is the route, and I'm taking all this name is going to be display in the API window, that is in the Swagger tool. When we run this, that will bring you along with the what we can say path. It will come all like this only. Okay, so we have seen in the last session these are all API, that means URL. Along with URL, the path will come that all, and now here get student by id, that is integer, and get student by name alpha. Actually, this is what actually API constant, we can say that. There are a lot of API constants are there, like alpha means uh, string format. Okay, bool means boolean format, date, time, decimal, double, float, int. Here we can also give integer, we can also give float, we can also give long type, max type, like that only. Suppose if you are trying to accept the employee age, we can also give the max of age 0 to 100, like that also we can give sometimes. So these are the action methods: get all students, get student by id, get student by name, these and also delete student by id, like this only. Okay, so now today I'm going to show you response with status code. That means we are getting response whenever we try to do the operations, but we are not able to see the status codes also here. So now how to display the response with status code, I'm trying to discuss today. So I'm trying to get the response along with status codes, sir. Okay, so today's session is, I'm trying to show you the same example. I'm continue with the response, API response with status code. I'm saying API response with status code. So let's look into this API response with status code. Suppose you can see this here in the previous example. So get all students, for example, you can see get all students are there. In this case, the API response after coming to this what we can say, hmm, get all students. So I enumerable, so we are taking student. Okay, then get students are there. If you want to get this response completely, then we can also use response status return okay, like this only. But how to do it means simple like this. So if you want to get the response status along with response status also, same thing we can do, but I want to do here action results are here, not I enumerable student. Then I need to give action result only. Like, let's see this how to give the action result here. I'm taking action result. Okay, action result, action result, I'm going to return public action result. Okay, then after that I need to take here this one angular bracket, and one more thing here, I'm taking angular bracket. So now you can see action result, I enumerable student, get students only. So why? Because I want to perform the action also by returning response code also. For example, normally response code is okay, I'm taking is okay of student repository of students, I'm taking here. This is response code. Okay. So here OK means 200 status code, but look at this. OK means it's a capital letter. We can see this is OK. It's coming. IntelliSense, that only we have to use it. Don't use small letter because it's a case sensitive. So OK means successful 200 status code only. Let me give this. OK means what actually 200, 200, the status code. Then status code is this one only, 200. This is action result. I'm using this OK status code you are going to get. Okay, but now we can see I want to also use this what we can say status code OK for this get student by ID also. How to do this status code for get student by ID means, so here get student by ID, same I'm going to say here public get student by id is a method. What this is only, and in this int id, after that action result of student only. So here I'm taking action result. Let's see this. It should come in IntelliSense action result of students, sir. So this is, I'm trying to change. Now action result of student get student by id. Again here also I'm going to return this okay statements are here. How to do this? Okay. And after that, now you can say student repository dot status where n equals to set or default, like this. Let's close this one. And this also I'm doing here. Also I'm taking status code is okay only. Okay, okay means 200. Okay, status code, this is status codes are, this is, so this is success. Actually I'm trying to go for success status code here. Okay, this is success only. Just I'm giving success code only. Once we get the student by id, I want to return the action result. Okay, action result, that is student repository dot students where lambda expression, this id property should match with id, then first or default we have to get. Again same we need to use here, return okay stated for get student by name also. Let's modify that also here. Get student by names are here. Get student by id is okay. Now next get student by name also I need to get. But sometimes when even you can see in the get student by name not. So first let me try to find the get student by name also okay status, later I'll give. But look at this, in this get student by id, sometimes if user is trying to enter some wrong id, so I need to return bad request also. For example, here I'm writing in the if condition, suppose if id less than or equal to, means less than or equal to 0. If id should not be 0 or less than equal to 0, in that context I can return what actually here bad request, sir. Okay, what is that? So bad request, I have to return bad request. This is bad request, how to return bad request means status code is completely 400 400 here, bad request. So I'm giving in the comment section here, you can see this is bad request. Bad request means 400 is the status code, and also it's a bad request, sir. Bad request status code is 400. But sometimes we will get the student by its id only, but if id is wrong, id is less than or equal to 0, then I can say bad request only. If id is correct, then I can say 200 status code okay only, like this. These are the status codes we are representing so clearly. Okay, this is. Now coming to this, these two requests I'm using, bad request, all those things. Now next I'm trying to do get student by name also. I'm trying to do okay status, sir. How to get student by name? Here we need to use student action result. I have to use first. Let's take action result here, action result, and after that let's make changes student, and now you can see get student by name. It's working fine. Now ASP.NET MVC action result is a super class to result. Obviously it return result, action result. Whatever the result is returning, this is completely action result through only we can get all classes, result classes. Now we can see get student by id. I'm trying to do this. Okay, so here, and one more changes I want to do here. What changes means in the get element by id, if id is less than or equal to 0, return back request. Okay, now I'm trying to do successful request. How it is, I'm going to change one more condition. If id student means what actually, student object here, student equals to n means what actually, the student is not this one, student is a object only, student equals to n. That means here I have to say where students are here. So this, just a moment here, let me cut this. Here I'm taking, so where student equals to this, I want to use here. Now you can see, just a moment, copy this code, and here I'm trying to include. I'm creating one object, student object equals to this. I'm pasting. So now you can see here I'm pasting this where student equals to this student I will return. Then I'm trying to say if student object equals to is matching n, then what actually here I need to say the record is correct only. But where is n here? You can see this n is I'm taking student equal to n, then return is okay. The successful status is correct. So this n I'm going to return, sorry. Okay. So here I need to say if I will less than or 0 and I is equal student equal to n. And if your n value is matching with the input values are here, input value. So sorry, student equal to null actually here. That is, if student is not going to be return any value null, I can say return not found only. I have to say that return not found, not found. This I want to return. This is correct. ID less than or equal to 0. This is better request. If student ID nothing is there, it is matching the student object is saying it is not found. Student card is not found. Otherwise, success URL used return is okay. This I have to do this. Next, what I am going to do, I have to give this name also. What is this? In the student get student by name. So here I am using action. I need to say return okay response. Okay. After that, student repository dot student page. First default. Let's close this brackets. And so this I'm going to close the bracket now. So action result send get student by name string name. So here you can see alpha name student by name. So here it is written okay result action result is correct only. Okay, this is perfect, no problem. Now next get student the ID is okay, everything is fine. Next what I'm trying to do, if student is null, then I have to return that okay student. So here we need to do changes. What I actually get element get student by ID, then return okay. After what I'm trying to do, this is not required because already I mentioned in the object only, this object is recommended to use instead of all these things are not required. Just pause. Because already where student equal to student repository dot students is there. This I'm pausing to here written okay. Coming to this here, everything is fine. Get element by ID and all the things is okay. And next, what I'm going to do, if student not found also, I need to give this which record is not found or clearly I have to say that this is actually student not found in the sense it's a client error actually. Okay, what error? If student is not null, then return not found in the sense it's a client error. So client error means no record is found in this 404 exception, 404 response code. And this is what actually generally 400 to 499 client errors only. I said that client error is. Now student equal to null not found. I need to give a display also clearly the student in the string format. I have display student with ID and placeholder. I'm passing that. I'm passing ID here. Not found. I can say not found. This is so everything's fine. And now coming to this, how to say next name. So student ID. So I have to use this dollar symbol because then it will consider as what we can say. Yeah. Now the student with ID of ID not found it is then okay student. Now name equals to alpha. This is ID bad request if ID is not correct. If there is no ID is there not found and student is null not found and other okay response status code is 200. Finally, I need to give the result also here. Sometimes here you can see inside that 400 bad request instead of what we can say get student by name I'm taking here. Next, get student by name. A get student by name. What I'm trying to do, same thing. I need to modify the code here also. Get student by name. So I'm writing search here. If string dot is null or empty of name. Name is null or empty. Then I have to say return again bad request. Here get element get student by name only. If student name is something is null or empty and no name or null, then I have to say bad request. Again here also I'm taking here where student this one just object I'm taking. Let's copy here and then paste here, sir, here. Okay, let's try to paste here. Then if it is available here, but here you can see n equals not id here. So n dot student name I have user in this case. Okay, because I'm going to get the student name equals to what I can say name, and for our default, then here where student name is not correct, then I can say this if student is not null. Again, I'm trying to say here if student, just a moment, if student equals to null, then say return not found, not found. Then it says I'm saying clearly dollar symbol the student name bracket name not found. I can say this. Okay, these are all the messages which I'm trying to do along with status code. This is also 404 status codes are here. This is if not found for client error only. Copy this. Just I'm giving client to you this only, sir. 404. This is what actually here bad request here. This is bad request. Bad request means what is the status code 404 under error it is client error. Same thing what we get student by ID. I'm doing get student by name also. So it is right. Now this time again I'm not going to use this one because already we mentioned this all things as student object only. Student I'm passing. These are the otherwise done okay response and this is not found and bad request. All these things are available. Next, finally, what I'm trying to change here. So delete student also need to use here. We can delete student. Okay, so I'm trying to say this here. Delete student purpose also. Let me change this. If id greater than id less than or equal to 0, then what I can here again return bad request. Return bad request. And here this is bad request. So return if id less than or equal to 0. I'm going to return the bad request, but here you can see this request is not available. The reason is I have to use action result for this what we can say get delete element by id also. And if id is less than or equal to 0, this is bad request again. The bad request is coming intelligence or null check. Bad request is coming intelligence. Then next what I need to do where student equals to a student repository or students with a default, then student is null. Here I can say that if student condition student equals to null, what I need to again return not found. Okay. Again clearly I mentioned that the student with id even in the context of delete also if wrong id is passing, the id will not be deleted. No, so that's what I'm taking id not found. This is the case. Okay, now I can say student repository students remove student, then return to here. So this is what is okay status 200. That means what actually success. 200 success. Next, what I'm trying to student equal to null, and if it is student equal to null, and what is the status code are actually that is not found. Not found means what is 4 that again client error I can say. And it is what actually if ID is there at request. So here at request status code is 400, and also it is actually client error. I'm just clearly saying that all three delete student by ID and get student by name and get student by ID and get all students like this. Okay, students, everything is setting right. So now this time you can see we have to what we can say run this server. So everything is answered. Then no changes are required in this code. So action result, and this is boolean return by is less than or equal to 0, bad request. If student equal null, then not found, and true only. Yeah, this is perfect. So after that, what we need to do, I need to return okay message out to say, sir, this is success request. No, so let's go here. I forgot to do okay off. True, I can say that this is correct. Now let's hit the start the server now. So we will see how we can able to get this state square, all those things here, not found or something. Okay, let's save the changes and build the application once. Now if it is succeed, then we will ready to execute this along with state code clear. Now let's see this time to show you clearly get all students. Okay, get all students means everything is fine, then it's okay status code if you are getting all students. But get student by ID, if ID is not ID is 0 or less than 0, bad request you are putting in the API. And if student ID is null, that means nothing is there, then not found actually. If something is wrong, then not found. Otherwise, okay, sir. 3 possibilities are bad request if ID is less than 0 or 0. If ID is wrong, something like this ID is equal to null, okay, ID is equal to null, then the ID is matching, nothing is matching. Student equal null means it return nothing. If it is matching with null, then ID is not. Otherwise, okay, request to get student by ID. At the same time, get student by name also. If the name is not provided, if you are searching a record with the name through or is null or empty bad request. If something is there correct values, then student is written. As student name is wrong, then this will return null. Null means it's two into student. If matching is null, then not found only. Otherwise, okay. Same get delete student by ID also, something like this. ID should not be less than or equal to, or ID is wrong ID if you pass, again bad request, correct ID will delete, sir. Let's start the run. I'm going to run with all status code. Now carefully one by one I'm running. So here you can see this is completely tool. So if I try to use this one now, try out, and now you can execute it. So we are getting complete result of students clearly available. So status code we can observe carefully here. That is okay. Status code response coming properly. Okay, right. So it is okay, fine. Then let's close it. I'm taking student ID only. When I expand this, so here it is. If you want to try out, you can try it out here. But look at this here. This clearly description is available. That means expected result should be look like only this format only. You're going to expect result is the schema header only. Now here I'm trying to give this try it out. Now observe here carefully in the try it out case. If ID is 0, I'm passing. Then what is actually here? Look this. Response body is coming along with response status code. Now we can see bad request. The status code is 400. 400. Is it clear or not? 400 bad request only because ID is 0 I'm mentioning. If I mention ID is, now you can see 6 ID, but actually there is no 6 ID with me because only 2 IDs are there. Now I can see ID 404 not found. This is the status code, and 404 status code not found is. Suppose if I'm trying to, you can see the student with ID 6 not found also is coming in the response body. Why? Because I have written clearly in the get element get student by ID. So I have clearly mentioned, sir, if student return null means ID is not matching, then the student repository students where ID equals to 406 ID is not there, it return null into student. If the matching, the student with ID 6 is not found, here we have written. If student is correctly written, then what will happen? It will work fine. Now this time you can see I'm trying out with the student ID passing like ID number 1. This is available. Return success status code clearly. It's 200 details. Now you can see success code it is. Okay, 200 details are there. Server response is coming clearly. Now observe, this is the success response only. The status code you can see 200 success code. This is success code. So this is OK response. Okay, so this is about what actually this is get student by ID. Let me check with get student by name also. Now you can see before that in the student repository, I need to check what the student names are there. As we discussed in the last session, Mohan is the student name, Raj is the student name. Apart from these two names, if I try to use this student get student by name, write it out. I'm giving the name is Durga, and this student is not there. So the name is not matching. Again, you can see record not found. That is 404. The name student with name Durga not found. Suppose here you can see if I'm not going to mention a name, empty or null, click on execute. Now in this context, you can see this 404 error only. But let me give the null references. Now you can see null, empty. Now this time you can see we are getting the detailed error not found with the null record is not available. Let's go to code here. I'm showing this student per class get student by name. So string is null or empty. There is no name is there. For example, it is a bad request, and if it's null, then it is not found actually. If I am empty null, so not found only. Otherwise, auto only here. Okay, client error it is if string dot is null or empty of name only. Let's see this here. I'm trying to get this string. Now I'm taking now normal characters, and now click on this. Now this time you can see this not found exception is there. Okay, if its correct string is there, for example, now I'm taking. Let me cancel it and restart it now. Let's execute this. Cancel it. Now you can see try it out, and I'm going to I'm not give anything. Click on execute. It's not for me. It's required actually. That's what I'm thinking when I click on execute. It's saying that actually not found error only. Okay, so the student with the name something like this is safe. If I'm giving Ramesh the student name execute, there is no Ramesh available. If I try to give Mohan is the student name, yes, student is available, then OK response is coming clearly. Look at this. OK response body here, success response. Mohan student name is there. So this is what actually along the response code I'm indicating clearly what I want to do. Now let's try to do this delete. For example, in the delete also try it out. So you can see in my coding is delete by ID. If ID is 0, I bad request. If it is not found, whatever the ID you are pressing that is not found. If ID is correct, then OK to delete it. So for example, if my ID is I'm taking 0, let's execute this for deleting. So you got the status code the bad request only, not 400. And if I'm giving ID 9, 9 is not there. So now this time you can see that student ID with ID 9 is not found. It's something here. And if I take to give ID number properly here, now you can see here I'm trying to do this ID number 1. Now you can see student successfully deleted. True is returning response body here, whatever I have written. This is okay stage which I am doing true. But actually this is not going to really delete from the student repository because just for coding only, but if it is database is coming, that's deleted. Later we'll discuss that all the things clearly also. Okay, so this is about how to work with all the states code with the responsibility of these things now. Next, what I'm going to do, so just note this point. One more important thing I want to tell you. So sometimes what we need to do here, just a moment. Whenever movement, when I hit the request clearly, so just a moment, there is no response body, so document response type. So we are not going to be use any documenting response are here. That is documenting response means what I'll try to say. So if I'm trying out, if it is not like 0 or something, now let's run this. Note this point here, 4O error is there. Note this point here, undocumented is coming here. So undocumented means the client cannot get the proper information undocumented. So we need to give the documenting response types. So how to give the documenting response type means, okay, let's try to do this documenting response type, how to give that, sir. When I try to use this, automatically four exception error is coming, undocumented is only. So undocumented means there is no documented. If I try to give again, now you can see I'm trying to give the number here like 5 or 6 or something like this. Now execute this. This is also, it's coming 4 undocumented again, not found, with 7 is not found here. This is undocumented status code we are writing. So we have to return this document status code clearly, sir. Okay. So how to return the document status code, and we have to write all these things. We'll look into that. Okay. So now I'm trying to write get student by ID case. This is what. Let's close this section, and now get student by ID. Here it is there. Get student by ID. I want to mention clearly document type 200 code. In that context, what I need to do after produce response type 200, I'm taking produce response type of 200. This is document type clearly I mentioned. Produce response type 200. And what is this produce response type 200? This is actually possibly response which is coming. 200k 404 what we can say, not found, 400 bad request like this. Multiple things I can use this get element by ID here. You can say I'm trying to use this one, also this one, this one. This is actually 400. This is what actually 404. What will happen in this case? Okay, you clearly said that 404. So now this time you can see whenever we try to run this, the moment when I click on it, clearly status code is there, and also what are possibility execution options are available, that will clearly available. You will get client clearly what are the possibilities are available with the response types only. If I go for run this get student by ID, so possible response for server is 200, either O if you give the ID correct, 400, that means what actually add request, that means if your ID is not correct format like 0 or something, if you give 4040 not found, means if you are giving wrong ID, not possibly there here. So client will get clear responses with along status code possibilities. Let's save changes, and now this time we can see previous what we have given document undocumented. Now this time we can see documented way it will give the clear information to the client. Let's look into this. I'm trying to do, I've written get element by ID. So that's what here I'm trying to do this one, and this point below 200 success and 400 bad request and 404 not found. That means possible documentation status codes are available that you can understand clearly how it is requested here. Okay, schema all will come. Now is the moment when I try to out. Now let's see this when I click on file. So what we expected now we can see here. So that is executed. Now 5 students not found. Now you can see this code is there 404. Previously in the below 404 undocumented came, but now this is not undocumented, it is documented. You can see documented responses available. So user can understand this. These are the possible responses from this request, like student my ID. If ID is correct, 200 successful. If ID is not correct, that is for not correct means 0 or less than or equal 0, 400 bad request, and ID is correct but ID is not available, records 9 or 10 records, that is 404 not found. So this is called documented status code response only. Previously it was undocumented. Now you can see this. I'm trying to execute this one. So get element by name. It is undocumented response. Will give. You can see this name is suppose Santosh. I'm giving name. So type out, and now you can see SANTOS. Santosh name is there, but Santosh name record is not available. So this time you can see this 404 not found, but it is undocumented. That means user cannot get in this case what possibility responses are available. There's no possibilities. Bad request only is coming now. But before that, it was not there. After execution only that possibility responses only 2 is coming. Okay. So that what we have to arrange that clearly. Document response. We can say document response. This is exactly document responses are coming here. So for only this get student by ID, document responses are there like this. But can you give document responses different? Yes, sir. Okay, no problem. Document responses also we can able to give this clearly, not a problem. So one more important here, what we can say, what we can say is this document responses, whatever we try to do this, then all allow the status code also able to use status code. So status code 40 bad request like that also we can able to give, but we can use all status codes with the response type all the bodies also. Now not normally I'm giving here only 200 only, but I'm trying to give this status codes also here. Let's go for, I'm removing this. Now I'm giving status code, status code actually, status codes dot status codes actually. That's what I'm doing. Produce response type status codes. Let me go for status code equals to 200. Is it? No, that is not correct. Let's try to give this. No option also there here. I'm trying to show you status codes dot status 200. Okay. Use but status code is not coming. Let's come to install core HTTP. Yeah, that is also required, and now here it is. Yes, that's being wrong. So the status code, if you want to get, so you can see this on the top. We have include Microsoft.AS.NET Core HTTP required. That's complete. Now again here I'm trying to install that. I'm taking status codes dot status 400 add request BAD add request. You can see it's coming in intersense. Here also I'm taking here status code status codes. This is coming now. I can status 404 not found. So if you can also do this produce response types of state code equals to state 200. Okay, like this how we can give this. So we can there is a chance sometimes get element status 404 involves server errors also, server errors also there. In the context we can say produce response type of what you can say status codes. I'm taking status codes. Then what we need to here status 500 internal server error. Status 500 I want to say internal server error 500. Look at this internal server error. This is the possibilities of getting student by ID whenever we run this. Okay, same possibilities what I'm taking. All students also there may be possibilities are there. What are the possibilities in the get all students means data source 200k 500 internal errors only, sir. This might be possible with this. Let's copy this and all students. Okay, here I'm trying to give, and also internal server also possibilities are there in the yes of get student get all students. This you can index this all to your view section. Get element by ID is okay. Now get student by name also 200 same thing only, sir. Let's copy and paste it, sir. Here this copy and student by name also. There's a possibility are there. So that's what I'm including this. Now coming to this get uh, deal student also 100 404 400 all these things are possible. So here also I'm pasting that. Now after doing that, you can try change and save this, and this is clearly document status I'm representing clearly because otherwise undefined user cannot get what the possible responses may occur whenever I try to. You can see if I'm going to get this all. So now try it out. Now this time you can see try it out, and now you can see when I try to execute this, so we are getting that document body also 200. It's okay. Response body 200 success, and 500 is server errors also come. If in case if you have any server is not issuing your data, server error is coming clearly. There is a possibility. Okay, clear document through we are using. Now get element by ID. Now you can try it out now. Just try out. So if I'm not going to give any data, click on this execution. So it's not responding, but possibilities are you can see 200, bad request 400, 404 like this, and server error 500 also is possibilities there. Now if I give this run 7, so again you can see 7 I'm giving execute this. Now you got this not found. Okay, so not found status code clearly 404 server response details also is coming responses clearly all these things are available. So this is the status code with all representation clearly documented. So when I try to go for finally this get student by name also name is not there. If in case in that case also it will get something wrong. So Ganesh is the name, but this name is not available. So you're getting code 404. This name is not there. Along with it is possibility status code cut from this request. If you are having the properly name, so Raj. Okay, so Raj name is there in my student repository. So Raj name is having here. That is okay. So these are all status codes along with the responsive document responsive way you can do this. If I'm not giving this mechanism, document response mechanism, this one produce response type and status code is this one. And what will happen in the browser API, whatever we are testing here in Swagger tool, there we don't get any information or the possibility responses are coming for this request. So this is about total things which I am dealing to get this data code through and the document response through here. Okay, this is as simple as that we can deal with. The next session we will go through another topic, how to do this all API database communication and all. Generally, you need to get a data from database and do perform CRUD operation with APIs only. But right now I'm using only student repository here. Session discuss in detail that how to deal with the database, all these things.